In the picture on the screen at the moment, you can see one of the entrances onto Rurilla Beach. In this picture, you can also see the fences that are separating the sand dunes from the public walkways leading to the beach. The fence in this picture looks aged and worn, but you can see that they have done a sufficient job as a barrier to protect the sand dunes from public harm, as the walkway is sufficiently lower than the sand dunes. In this next picture, you can see that the fencing has undergone some damage, and the wooden beam that is placed across the two other stumps has been replaced with wire. This can be improved upon. In this third picture, you can see the newly placed fencing that was placed on the beach entrance by Shellharbour City Council only the day before these photos were taken. In this photo, you can see the damage that has taken place behind the newly placed fencing as the dunes have been worn down. The vegetation that was present in this area before is now completely gone. In this particular picture, you can see that the fence that was once standing there, stopping the destruction of the sand dune system, has fallen down and is now laying on the floor. You can also see the impact that it has had on the sand dunes, as it has been worn down and lost the vegetation that was once there. Since the fencing has been put up on the side of the public entrance to the beach, it has recently had new fences placed there and has a bad area of dune destruction behind the newly placed fences. It will soon start to look much like the other side of the public walkway. It will have a stable dune vegetation growth, and the dunes will be higher than the walkway due to the fencing. Fencing as a coastal management strategy has a lifespan of an average of 5 years. But this can change depending on the frequency of storm and wave damage, as well as vandalism and the severity of the erosion. Fencing can encourage the deposition of wind, blowing sand, reduce trampling, and protect existing or transplanted vegetation. Fencing is often used as a coastal management strategy by many countries and local councils because it has low cost, although it needs ongoing maintenance. Fencing is also used in abundance because it has minimal impact on the biodiversity of the local environment. Fencing as a coastal management strategy has no fairness between generations or within a generation, as it needs constant maintenance and has a lifespan of on average of 5 years. Fencing does, though, have a low impact on the biodiversity of an area that it is placed. Fencing does not cause harm to the public if used and maintained correctly. Fencing can be subject to vandalism. In recently formed dune areas, the majority of vegetation is non-indigenous and often a weed. The primary role of these dunes is to provide reservoirs for sand recycling and to buffer coastal infrastructure from the sea. These dunes need to be vegetated to prevent wind-blowing sand drift, which also makes them a habitat for flora and fauna. In this picture, you can see how much the dune vegetation is in abundance behind the fences because the public is being kept out. And dune revegetation is important because it stabilises the dunes and stops them from wearing away. And then if they wear away, there will be no buffer between the coastal developments. So dune vegetation is very important to many people, not just the beach. In this picture, you can see the destruction of the dune vegetation and how it's had an impact on the dune. The dune is worn away and blown away by the sand. This could also be fixed with some fencing to keep the public out, because this particular picture was taken on a walkway that goes down to the beach. At Rurilla Beach, we saw a few types of dune vegetation. We saw bitter bush, spinifex, dollarweed, coastal wattle, and Thai tree and coastal banksia. The dune revegetation has very good intergenerational equality as well as intragenerational equality, because you don't really need to maintain it unless it gets destroyed, and it's very good for dune stabilization. It also it is the biodiversity of the environment, and it has no harm to the public.